Sir?
Yeah, and I was reading part of the CCRPA, or whatever you call it, that type of planning agency.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for decades, which was something, I assumed that it was something recent, just because that we're talking about smart growth development, and those are the key words that you hear that you've only heard maybe the past 3 to 5 years. But it's something that's been happening since like the 70s or 60s.
They put that in the new report that it's been going on
agency was
forever.
actually established, so it's like right now, all of a sudden, we're trying to go up against a mountain that's been in the works for decades. And now it's like, I feel as if all of a sudden now I'm becoming aware of it.
It was more a guideline before. Now they've been empowered to hand out the money, and you have to sign on to whatever stipulations. There's strings attached to it, you know. That's the thing about it. You got to find what's going on in your town specifically. Is it environmental, or is it supposed to be public transportation? And we just have to hit it with as much, I mean, you blog on the stories on your newspaper, write your editorials, go to the public hearings. There's one tomorrow in Old Saybrook. They're talking about parking spaces. So if you see them talking about parking spaces, not having enough parking spaces in your downtown, or that they want to revitalize, you know, when you see cobblestone on the roads, you know it's coming. You just start watching for the grants, start watching. They started rolling out all these different stories about how we're going to fight the blight and how, and this is after, you know, 6 months of me saying we got to clean up the crime. In the downtown we've got gangs. Why do you want to bring an urban center into a town that has a gang problem? Oh, there's no gangs, there's no gangs, there's no gangs, until finally someone got shot in the ass in the downtown, and then all of a sudden everybody's agreeing with me on there, and I know some of these people are members of the government in town that are actually arguing with me on it, and now all of a sudden they're saying, yeah, we got to clean up the crime problem. I said, something's going on here, what's happening? All of a sudden, fight the blight, we need to get rid of these properties that are the cause of all these criminals that are in this town. So again, you know, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, I'm on the newspaper arguing about it, but I mean,
redevelopment can go from residential to open space. If they've identified a blight area that they like to just wipe off the map, they can do that. And blight is one of those things that, you know, it's amorphic, it's in and out of neighborhoods. But, you know, what if it's a mortgage issue like we had with the banks? Say there's a foreclosure crisis and you have 40% of the homes in an area that's been labeled as blight that are gone under. The bank's taking them, town's taking them for tax title. 40% are now going to impact the other 60%. If you live in that area, you have the capability of paying your mortgage. They may take your property by eminent domain and bulldoze the whole darn shebang
for the
off
greater
map.
good. And that's what they start talking about in the paper, you know, for the greater good, and we need to prepare for the 21st century. They don't mention the word agenda, but they throw that 21 out there every chance they get when they talk about development. It's an ongoing battle, you know, but you need to get other people on board with it. And most of the people that you explain it to, they finally get it and they say, well, what can we do, you know? That's the tough part, but it's getting enough people out there, you know. Everybody in this room is in the know, and
trying to educate the other people.
Yeah, if we can organize, at least hit one of these DOT meetings, because if they don't get the rail, they can't build the subsidized housing. They have to integrate those things together. It's the only way to do the sustainability. And in my town, I brought the documents. I told everybody, here's the documents right here. If you want to do smart growth and you're going to get this grant, it has to be low-income housing, predominantly, or we'll get sued.
In Windsor, they keep trying to tell us that the Great Pond is going to be luxury. That's one thing with all 3 developments. They won't say what the actual rent is, but they'll be luxury priced.
Well,
Because that's the only way that the town won't revolt, because they don't want low-income housing, NIMBY.
It doesn't matter if it's luxury. It's luxury for low-income people.
Thank you, Section 8.
That's what the program is made for. It's made to bring the poor people out of the slums and improve, there's your quality of life. When they start talking about quality of life, they're not talking about homeowners like me and you that pay our taxes. They're talking about people that don't pay any taxes, that are living in buildings that are out of code.
And they
They
want
wanna
to
bring
do
them up
it
to
in the
code.
rich towns.
Yes.
That's where they want to put it, because they were talking about it in Richfield. They were flipping out.
It's hard to expose it because of the terms that they use. But when you start seeing the weird, they said they want to put cameras and they're going to have an eye in the sky in the downtown. And once I heard that, I said, you know what, that's it. I'm going to go hit this head on. And
Yeah, no, so, and they end up, the homeowners have to pay for all these renters that are coming in, and that's the part that the homeowners aren't getting right yet, the fact that you can put in 3,000 families in the small town, in a rental property. What is car tax versus what a homeowner
Right.
has to pay? But these renters are going to vote to increase this Board of Education budget, which is 2 times the amount of the town budget
Yep.
when you split it. And it's not even half, it's 2/3 and 1/3.
Yes.
So, and who's paying that? The taxes are being paid by the homeowners.
Yep.